doing interviews. You'll find her with celebrities and all the latest news. She's here, she's there, she's everywhere, she's always on the go. So sit back, relax, and get ready. This is the Corey Taylor Talks Show.
Hello everybody. Welcome to Corey Taylor Talks, live from Las Vegas. I'm Corey Taylor, and today I am joined with an amazing guest who I'm so excited to have on. He is really such a legend in the acting community, and he has done so much. His mom is also an amazing superstar. He just has this incredible career. He has so many things coming up. I'm really honored to have him on. We have Mr. Jim Meskimen on. So hi Jim, how are you?
Oh, I'm fine, Corey. Thanks for that nice introduction. That's very, very kind.
Oh, and it's all completely true. Like I said, I really think you are such an amazing actor. You're hysterical. You do impersonations. You teach people how to be. I mean, you have such an amazing career behind you, and like I said, so much more coming up. And it's just and currently going on. It's just really an honor to have you on and talk to you and learn more about you.
Oh, great. Well, that's a very delightful introduction. I'm happy to answer any questions. Are you in Las Vegas?
Yes, I'm based in Vegas.
Okay, good. What's the weather like there today?
It is actually very hot. I am not a fan. It got really hot too quick.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
How's it out? You're in LA, correct?
It's lovely. Just beautiful. If it could stay like this for a while, it'd be great.
Yes, absolutely. So I want to get right into it. Well, first, let's start with kind of how you started. Like I said, obviously your mom, everyone knows her and loves her, Marion Ross. And it's Mother's Day coming up, too, and I see you posting about her, which I think is just awesome. I love that you guys are so close. But is that how you kind of started into the acting business, or what made you get into this?
Well, it is true that my first professional jobs were basically through my connection to my mom. I was on an episode of Happy Days, the show where she played Mrs. C, Ron Howard's mother. The famous. It's become quite a famous episode, or at least a famous concept, because I announced the fact that we're on the beach, and I announced that there's a shark, and it's penned up out in the Pacific, like you do. And that, to this day, has come to mean, when a show jumps the shark, to me it means that a show is doing something unusual, doing some stunt casting or whatever to try to attract flagging attention. But so that was my first paying SAG job.
Wow, what a story behind you, huh? That is really, really cool.
Well, it was nice of my mother to get me that job. It was in the 5th year of Happy Days in their 11-year run. So the show technically hadn't jumped the shark yet, at least not in my opinion. But it's come to mean that.
No, that's really cool. I didn't know that. That's awesome. That's a great story for your first paying gig.
That's a little bit of trivia there, and you can see it on YouTube actually if you go to.
All right, so no, that's awesome. That is quite a story for your first paying gig.
Thank you.
And then, so did you just fall in love with acting then, and start to go, or what was kind of your story with that?
Well, I was always in love with performing, with the idea of performing, but I was intensely shy actually, and so I would do things at school. A little bit, and all the time growing up, I would look for opportunities to perform, but I was tentative. I hadn't fully made the commitment. That didn't come until I was in my 20s, early 20s, and I had been studying fine art. I was a painter, illustrator, cartoonist.
Yes.
For a while, and going down that path. But always in the back of my mind, I was thinking, eventually, I think I'm gonna be an actor, and I just found it difficult. It was a kind of a Sophie's choice for me, which art form to discard or to set aside. And eventually, it became clear to me that I was more suited at that time for acting, and that's the path I chose. But I was about 22, 23 years old.
Wow. No, I gotta say, you are a man of so many different talents. You are just absolutely incredibly talented, and I really think it's such an honor to have you on. I even, when I first saw you, I know you had your little Whoville nose and stuff, but I was like, oh, it's the guy, it's the police officer. It just really, your whole career with Parks and Rec, and your movies or your show coming up on Apple. I mean, you just really have, even on Whose Line Is It Anyways, which I always loved that show growing up. I would watch it at like 3 a.m. I was waking up and it would be on, and it was so good, and you're so talented, and to even be on that show is amazing, and just shows
Well,
your
that was
talent
a great
there.
experience. Very kind words. The British show, the British Whose Line, came to New York when I was living there, and I was working with a theater company called Interplay at a theater school called the National Improv Theater, and the Whose Line guys were scouring New York to find improvisers to put in a special New York edition of Whose Line Is It Anyway, the British show with Clive Anderson. And so myself and my friend Christopher Smith were chosen out of our group, and we hadn't seen the show. I think I saw it on VHS, so we were like, what is this show? Because it didn't run in the United States. It only ran in England and the UK. And, we weren't terribly impressed by it, to tell you the truth. That was so kind of unsophisticated compared to what we fancied we were doing with improvised Broadway musicals and improvised soap operas and one-act plays and really, really stretching the boundaries of improv. But it turned out to be a good show to do, and it's been on ever since. And it's now like about I want to say 30 years ago. Is that possible? I guess so.
Wow.
Yeah, I wasn't able to get onto. I tried then later to get on the American Whose Line, but they had their own choices of people they wanted to work with, and I understand that. If you're spearheading a show and you want to have your friends involved, and I would have kicked out everybody and put my friends in. So there you go.
No, I understand, but the fact that you were even on it is really amazing, because I mean, they only use top of the top people, and I used to do improv a lot, and it is a very difficult thing, and I don't think a lot of people give people who do improv enough credit at all, because it is a very difficult thing, and to be on it, British version is really amazing. So you should be so proud of yourself for that.
Thank you. Very kind of you to say.
Yeah, and I also, like I said, I want to talk about your new Apple series coming, or that's out. It's the Big Door Prize. So how did you get involved with that? Can we talk about your part a little bit in it?
Absolutely. So the Big Door Prize is on right now, streaming on Apple TV Plus, and I think we've got one more episode that's going to be released, and then that's season 1 is done. We just finished work on season 2.
Oh, good.
So before the strike. So that's good.
Perfect. Great timing.
Come out. Hopefully come out, this year maybe. I don't know. But I play. The story is about a small town where a fortune-telling machine, very high-tech fortune-telling machine called the Morpho, appears suddenly in this little market in this small town. And people start going in, and they pay their money, they put their hands down, they get on the plate, they get their fingerprints taken, and they put down their social security number for some reason. And they get a little plastic card, like a credit card, that's blue, that says what their destiny really is. And so people start getting these cards that say, very different things from what they're actually doing with their lives. And it starts to create some very comedic upheaval and also dramatic as well. It's a very original show with a very serious tone that sometimes is quite silly and funny. And the lead actor in it, the guy who plays the male lead, is Chris O'Dowd, the very funny and talented Irish actor Chris O'Dowd. And I have the enviable job of playing his father, whose name is Kerry. And my role is an accountant who gets this card from the Morpho that says he should be a male model. And that strikes resonates with him very deeply, and so he drops everything in his business and he becomes a male model in this small town. There's not a lot of very high-tech or high-paying male modeling jobs in a small town, as you can imagine.
Well, that sounds like a very smart idea.
Well, it's a fun show, and the actors are great. It's created by a guy named David West Reed,
Yes.
who is a terrific showrunner, and he also was responsible for Schitt's Creek,
Right.
that series that was also very original and groundbreaking. So we have high hopes for it. I hope it'll find its audience, and in the meantime, it's a super fun show to be involved with.
Yeah, well, no, it's great too that you guys were able to wrap season 2, especially before the strike happened, and I think that's great. And I'm really excited, and hopefully it'll be pushed out even more, and like you said, just gain a huge audience. And it sounds absolutely hysterical.
Yeah, it's very hysterical, but it makes you think, and
that's the best kind of show.
Very original show. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's right now streaming now on Apple TV Plus.
And actually, I want to bring my producer on the mic real quick because I believe he is a very big fan of the show. Correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so we have John.
Can you hear me,
Hey,
Jen?
John.
Can you hear?
Have you watched the whole season yet, or
No, I think I have
it
2 episodes left, but it grabs you right from the beginning. I think it's well written. The concept is brilliant, and the acting and the players in it are just. It was just. I binged like the first 3 or 4 episodes, but then I had to go back to work. So.
Dang it.
But anyway, and good job. Just good job, man. It's a lot of fun, and it's awesome that you can bring that kind of experiences to people and make us laugh, make us cry, and think about some of the things in our life. But I just, like I said, my kudos to everybody involved in that show. It's one of my favorites.
Thank you, John. That's great to hear.
Well,
Yeah.
it's nice to have feedback sometimes.
I know, and it's so unusual to get any feedback. I'm used to just, these days putting out content, being on shows, whatever, little films here and there, and never hearing anything for years. So to hear someone actually say they like it is very, very nice.
No, I'm definitely going to be watching it soon. It just sounds really, like I said, hysterical. But I think it's great that it sounds like it's also makes you think and has a real deeper meaning behind it. And those are the best kinds of shows where you actually want to watch it and think without really. It sounds like a good balance.
Yeah, there better be a season 2.
Yep, season 2 is in the can, and hopefully we'll hope for season 3.
Awesome.
Corey.
Yes, no, thank you, John, for talking about that. I'm very glad you were able to put your word in. Because when I mentioned it, he looked at me, he's like, oh my God, I love that show. So I'm glad that he was able to put in his words behind it.
Perfect.
And also, I think what's so cool is you started an online course called Becoming a Working Actor, which I think so many people could learn from. What made you want to do that?
Well, I'm in my 35th or 36th year of being a professional, and so there's a lot of people that are offering their knowledge, and there's always a lot of people that are trying to become actors, and I learned a lot in my time. I continue to learn. There's a lot to know, and made a lot of mistakes, and did a lot of things right, and I kept track of it all pretty well. Plus, I learned a lot of things from my mother, Marion Ross. And so when I was approached to come up with a course, I found that I had a lot to share. So we made a pretty hefty series of videos, short videos, some short, some long, that are all part of the course, and some ebooks with mostly the same information, but in printed text form. And it's the successful actions that I've gathered over all my decades of being a working actor in film, TV, voiceover, audio books, everything, live performing, all the various things that I've been involved in over the years. And it's a way for people to organize their activities a little bit. If they want to get into acting, what should they start with? If they've been already acting a little bit, or even over the long term, but want to move to another level, a better level, let's say, then I've provided information about that too. I don't know how to. The course is not called How to Be a Star. I don't know how to do that myself, but I will say that becoming a working actor is definitely on the road to being a star. You have a much better chance of becoming a star if indeed you follow some of the things that I've been interested to communicate to others. So that's at jimworkingactor.com. At least for the moment, that's where it is, and I invite your listeners to check it out, particularly if they know somebody who wants to be an actor, like a young person in your family or in your life who, like, maybe they don't live in Los Angeles or New York or even in Vegas, and they want to explore, well, what is it to be an actor? What on the business side, on the organizing your life side, on getting an agent, all these little things.
Yeah.
How do you do that? And I try to answer that question as best I can.
No, that's excellent because, I am an actor, and it's very difficult, and it's a lot more than people ever think of. And, everyone goes, oh, yeah, I want to be an actor, and then you really start to get into it. And like you said, there's so much that goes behind it, agent, publicist, and legal. I mean, there's just so much. And, unfortunately, most people, they aren't doing it full time. They have a second job or 3 jobs or whatever the story is. So I think it's great that you're offering this course that can really help people become actual working actors.
Yeah, and I mean, I had a little bit of a leg up with my mom. As I said, she put me on the Happy Days. She got me on that Happy Days episode, but that's not a career.
No.
I had to make my own way. And,
absolutely.
When I was in New York City as a young man, as I told you, I was working as an illustrator cartoonist. I was designing cartoon characters for the original Thundercats series, believe it or not.
Wow.
And at the same time, I realized that I wanted to be an actor, and so I was auditioning, looking for an agent all during that time, at the same time as working a full-time job as a cartoonist, and then a freelance artist. So it is tricky. You have to really hustle, but it is, if you organize yourself properly, you can make some real progress.
Oh, definitely. And I think it's so cool, too. You're also, you've got quite the following on TikTok. And I am a big advocate for going on TikTok and sharing your stuff because I think people really can get a lot of attention from there. And you are so funny on there. You have gained a huge following. You have videos with millions and millions of views, especially with your impersonations, which, like I've said, you're so talented. You do also impersonations, and you're incredible at that. And so I think that's great. You're on TikTok as well and gaining a huge following on there.
Thank you. Yeah, over the last couple of weeks, it's really exploded. And Instagram, too. Instagram started being very, very friendly to me within the last couple of weeks. And we've had I think we've got a viral hit there, over 1.5 million views on the thing we did just the other day. So my daughter and I, we do these together. We just consider it part of the promotional steps that an actor should do, you know, and then we obviously want to have a lot of fun with it and work in as many impressions as possible.
What's your favorite impression you do?
Well, these days, I must tell you, Corey, I like doing Sir Patrick Stewart because so many people enjoy his personality. And I tell you, I enjoy being Patrick Stewart almost as much as I enjoy watching Patrick Stewart.
I didn't realize he was in the room with you.
He's right here. Just don't hog the whole interview, Patrick.
I won't. I'll let you say whatever you want to.
Yeah.
Ask him how many lights there are.
Yeah, we only care about how many likes are there.
Lots of likes.
No, I think that's awesome. And I want to ask you a couple of questions just because you have worked on so many different iconic movies and TV shows and everything. Out of everything you've done, what is your favorite story that you have as an actor?
Wow. Well, I when someone asks you a big, broad question like that.
I know it's a difficult one, but I have to try.
Well, I guess I could pick the first one that comes to mind. That's a good improv rule, and it works satisfactorily for interviews too. And I thought about working on The Grinch, Ron Howard's The Grinch with Jim Carrey, and that was a great job. I mean, I worked for 4 months with some incredible artists. I mean, actors, scenic designers, makeup artists, costumers, and of course Ron Howard and his crew.
Yeah.
Just top of the line people, and also in a show that we knew was going to be kind of evergreen. You know, people would come back to it again and again and enjoy it. So that was a pretty special time, and we started it in the summer. We started it just about this time of year, I think, like maybe in June of that year, and we went full into Christmas for 4 months. And then when Christmas finally came around, it was like, more Christmas.
I'm sick of Christmas. Then you really become a Grinch.
We were all the Grinch at that point, yeah.
Exactly.
I don't want to hear anything about it.
No, I think that's so cool. And you know, what an awesome thing to be part of a true Christmas classic. I watch it every single year at Christmas time. There's a whole list of Christmas movies I have to watch every single year, and that is definitely top of the list. I mean, that's really cool that you're part of such
I get to play an Irish, because his name was Houlihan, so when I was developing the character, I thought, well, he's got to be Irish, obviously. And marvelously enough, you know, in this new show, the Big Door Prize, I get to again drag out, it's not really my Houlihan accent, but I had to study Chris O'Dowd a little closer, and so I manufactured a slightly different Irish accent for that.
No, that is so cool. I think people that can do impersonations and accents and stuff are so cool, because that is a very difficult thing to do as well, and you were obviously very, very good at it.
Well, thank you. My mother really got me started with that, too. I mean, she would play around with accents, and we would imitate people that we saw or people that we knew.
Wow.
I was really lucky growing up, because Mom was a struggling actress, so she didn't really have it made until she was in her mid-40s.
Yeah.
And she was raising my sister and I, my sister Ellen, who is a writer-producer now. You know, I had broken home. My folks were divorced when I was 8, so I lived with my mom, and she was always playful and full of a lot of mischief. She was pretty stressed out a lot of the time because of just the circumstances, but she was kind of like a bratty older sister sometimes, which was just great. And very different from Marion Cunningham, who, you know, people say, wow, what was it like to be raised by Marion Cunningham? I think, well, not only was I never raised by Marion Cunningham, nobody was.
No one will ever know.
No one will ever know. We can kind of infer what it must have been like, but we don't really know.
No, that is so cool. And your mom's an absolute legend, and I think that's great that she did have you impersonating people and making accents and doing stuff at a young age, and I think that's helped your career so much because you were always used to it and always doing it,
right.
And you probably think of the world differently.
Right. I mean, she put up with it. She embraced it. I don't think a lot of parents would put up with it very long. The kind of nonsense that I like to do, and I didn't know that it would turn into a career advantage, but it absolutely did. Mom is doing great, by the way. She's gonna be 95 in October,
wow.
But she's very healthy, very happy. I do post things with her on my social media of her saying hi to her fans and sharing her wonderful, brilliant personality. And we're going to have a lovely time this Mother's Day, and we're going to have her and my mother-in-law over and celebrate.
Good. No, I love your mom, and I think it's awesome that you're still so extremely close to her, and like I said, you do all those videos and stuff, and it sounds like she is a great woman to be raised by, and she gave you quite an interesting childhood, but that's helped you so much with your career.
Yeah. No, I'm a really fortunate fellow, and I don't take it for granted. I thank my lucky stars.
Oh, absolutely. And I'm really glad that you also made this class, and that you have the Apple show. I mean, and now you're getting your huge social media following, which is very well deserved. And I just think your whole career is going to take off even more, which is insane. But I think you're just going to blow up, and I do so many amazing things and help a lot of people too, especially people who are trying to become in the acting business. I think it's really cool they can look at you as a guidance, and you can help people as well.
Yeah, thank you. I like to help people. I like to help artists, and because artists are, you know, they're kind of special. They're creative people. They like to make something out of nothing. They're not just waiting around for a nickel to roll their way. You know, there's something special about artists that I respect, musical artists, writers, all these people, and that's actually why I support the Writers Guild right now in their strike.
Absolutely.
Because what writers do is, you know, all these great shows that we've mentioned, all of them had Writers Guild writers creating them and making them as good as they are. We're in a wonderful age of television because of the writers.
Absolutely.
Among other people, but so I'm supporting them 100%.
Yes, definitely supporting the writers. What's going on is just insane that there even has to be a strike. But yes, absolutely 100% supporting them, no matter how long it takes, because they deserve every bit of it. And like you said, they created everything that we know and love. They created it, and AI is not going to be able to do anything that they can. So I'm definitely 100% supportive of it.
Yeah, good.
Well, where can people follow you, keep up to date with everything you're doing, your career, all your social medias? Where can people follow you at?
Yeah, on Instagram, I am on, it's called @Jimpressions.
Oh, I like that.
at Jimpressions, yeah. And on TikTok, it's @Meskimen. And my name is spelled Meskimen. Meskimen. Weird little name, but it's. I think it used to be Meskimen back in the old days, in the old country. And then on YouTube, you can look up Jimpressions also. I put up at least one video a day on YouTube. I do a daily celebrity fortune cookie where I crack open a fortune cookie and read it in a celebrity voice. I've been doing that for about 4 or 5 years now.
That's awesome.
And then I have actor tips that I put up there and various other things, also interviews. And I interviewed Rich Little not too long ago, actually.
Oh, wow.
Who I know is doing a residency in Las Vegas right now.
Yes. No, that's really cool. I'm very excited to have you on and just talk to you about everything. You were amazing, and I can't wait to see everything you have coming up. And I'm definitely going to be watching the Big Door Prize soon. So.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Corey.
you.
I appreciate it.
Thank you for being on. And everyone, please go check him out. If you want to get into the acting business, he is absolutely the guy to go to. So please go check out his website. Follow him. He's hysterical. Like I said, I can't wait to see everything he has coming up for him. So thank you guys so much for watching. And remember, never give up, always believe, and you'll achieve. Thank you. God bless.